I think we're live. Hello, everyone. Give me 1 second, please. Just want to make sure that everything is working. Just want to make sure that everything is working. Perfect. All right, here we are now. So, hello and welcome back to another day, another stream with me and our city building game. As you might be able to hear, I have now gotten a new microphone, or it's actually not a new one, but I have finally set up, so I hope the sound is significantly better than what it usually is. Let's try and see how well this works. The microphone is a little bit up my face, but I think we should be able to set everything up the way we want it to, so I am not even that worried. All right, thank you for joining me today, and then we will simply just get it going, okay? So what are the goals of today? So today we can do a recap. We recognize that we basically fixed everything from the last time, right? Let's try and load it up and see how well everything works. We can create roads, we can make intersections. We are already encountering an error. That was fast. Okay. And I think actually I know exactly why the reason is because if you put them straight, there's like if it's exactly that's why it works like that. If it's exactly straight, and I do not know exactly why this error occurs, okay, but it does. But if we don't do that, then everything's fine, okay. Again, same issue. Okay, so we need to make sure that that exactly like that. And I'm not actually quite sure how we're going to do that. We can create nodes, we can delete, and everything looks really good in that sense. So we are able to start. We're able to start on our next topic, but first we have to ensure that these errors do not occur on a regular basis, right? And let's try and recreate the error once more, and then let's try and see exactly where in the code this problem arises, right? So let's try, if I have an exactly straight line here, there we go, in the road builder itself, right? So clearly it does not detect some intersection here. So we go into the road builder. In the mouse event, okay? And we can just get rid of this for now as well. So in line 45, we see here nearest node is this one, yeah? we're not able to. The issue is that we're not able to detect it because these are not defined. And so let's just have a look again. So we can see that it detects all the things here, but as soon as we get it exactly straight here, there seems to be an issue, right? Yeah, okay. And the same here. So if you do it like right there, I mean, that's fine in itself. Yeah, there's some issues regarding the snapping, which actually confuses me a little bit. Because I was actually quite sure that it would work. And I was hoping to just get ready for the next thing, and that's unfortunately not the case. And all we can do is just go back and have a look at it and fix it. So we have a couple of issues here, and I think what I would like to do is to make some dev logs in here. We'll just call it log, okay? And we just say issues relating road building. If new road has exactly 90 degrees, or perhaps it also goes for we can check if it also goes for if it horizontal, if it is, or if new road is exactly vertical, it does not detect intersection. Okay, let's try and test if it also does the same for horizontal roads. So we'll try to build one here, and then we'll try to make a perfectly horizontal road here. Does not seem to be an issue. Right. So it's only when it's a vertical, which is very weird in my opinion. But we can try and see here how we work it out. So perhaps it is because of the precise is false. Let's try and set it to true here. I have a feeling that it might be solving our issue. It does not. No, okay, that's okay. Another question is, if it does not detect the if it doesn't detect the intersection, then how are we ending up in this code in the first place? Okay. So this is the variable that saves the number of roads, so that we are colliding with. And so it clearly can detect to some degree that we're colliding with something. Let's go and see here. Are we... We're not doing that much of we're not doing that much crazy stuff, right? And we have cleaned everything up really nicely. So let me try and have a look here. So we are addressing and so in truth, I mean, I actually think that the best thing for this would be um, to be false, so that we can have a little bit more like a rough, and also for efficiency. So we set this back to false. Order true. Okay, that should not be the issue then. Okay. And so let's just try to debug. I think we can just put this one in here, and then it should be, I can say, points plus string. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Sorry about that. I think this should be good enough. Let's try and do this. So we can actually already see here intersection points is still 1. It still calculates this as 1, right? Even though it doesn't see it. And if we go outside here, and I think if I do it here as well, it should actually just connect straight to that. And it does, and that's beautiful. And if I do it like maybe like here as well, yeah, it's actually super good in that regard. But here is an issue, and that's what we see now. Okay. So it says that there are 1 point here. Let's try and find the place where we are actually drawing that text. Yeah. Intersection points. It does not seem to be in here. And so it will probably be in somewhere else, obviously. Wait one. Okay, so it's not in the action handler. I don't remember where we have put it. It's not in the action itself, of course. Dev interface? Nope. No. That's very interesting for me. So the dev interface has nothing to do with anything. Road segment, no. Road network. There's somewhere where something's going wrong, right? It doesn't really make sense to me that it wouldn't be in here. What is in here? I think I must have made some kind of mistake regarding opening this up. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay. So it's all encapsulated in this one, which is really good. That's exactly what we want. However, I just realized that I think I know what's happening, and the problem is in the calculation of the angle. It's in the calculate intersection point. Yeah. And so whatever happens here might not be the thing that we really want to have happen. All right, so let's see here. This is exactly the place. And so what I would like to do again is to and I would like to take this intersection coordinates. There we go. And I mean, I'm sure we can. Oh, let's try to recreate the error. There we go. Non-applicable, non-applicable. That's very interesting, you know, why it would calculate like this. First of all, so I know why it is. It's because we're dividing by 0. This ends up being 0. Yeah. Yes. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Well, I'm happy we got this out of the way, or we figured it out pretty quickly. Question is then, well, how are we going to deal with it? I would assume. Okay, so let's just let's make 2 new variables. Calculate these. Okay. Let's say here these numberings are no longer really the right way to approach this, but I think we can. Well, first of all, delete that. But we can. Oh. Right, so this would be the x coordinate, and this would be the y coordinate, right? That's how we calculate it. Yep, exactly. Good. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, you see, we have those. So we say intersection x. You know, we'll just make some stupid names. It's not good practice. Don't do this at home. But we will do it here, ix1, and we will put this like here. Yeah, and then we will replace this with that. Okay. We will do the same for the next part here. Boom. And that will be ix2. There we go. Yeah. Then we say here, if it's equal to 0, because that's exactly what is happening, right? The fact is that they are exactly straight, so that this becomes 0. And in principle, I would expect it to also work in the horizontal direction. Like if you make a horizontal road, because this could in principle also be 0. Maybe there, because of the way it's rounding, I don't know. But I'll just calculate new intersection points. Okay, so we can just simply say here, if ix2 is equal to 0, or actually, let's say if it's my question is also, it can be negative, and that's fine. But so we can say if abs of ix2 is less than 1, because then we will start dividing by fractions, and then it will probably fly all over the place. Then we say ix2 is equal to sine of ix2, right? So it will return. It's not going to return. It's of course not supposed to return 0. But it should be able to return -1, right? If you divide something with -1. Yeah. I just want to make sure that we do this one time, and we do that one time well. I mean, we can, this is just, if ix2 is equal to 0, ix2 is equal to 1. And then we can just say, I mean, I don't like this solution particularly, but I guess it's okay. Okay, then I would like to copy paste, or to do the same for the y coordinate. Okay, so y, var, variable iy1 is equal to this part. And iy2 would be equal to this part. Yeah. And then we would of course have to do the exact same for that one. And I believe that this would be enough. That this would be enough as it is. I mean, let's try and see. No, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I would like to just try and test if it works. Oh, if it just works like this, if this is good enough. Excuse me. Yeah. Again, non-applicable. Okay, well, let's try. Let's try with this functionality. It's the exact same issue. Okay, that's fine. Let's try and see here then. Yeah, so it's Yeah. Okay. Let's go even further in the debugging. Put this one in here. And I'll just remove this. There's no reason for that. And we will take every single one of these. We can just copy this a couple of times. Oh wait, no, we cannot. Excuse me. Like so. Yeah, okay. Let's just try and see again how this. All right. So it is returning infinity for all of them. There must be some kind of solution for this, right? Let me. Let's try and remove all of this stuff again. I mean, so we have isolated the issue, right? Wait. Are these two supposed to be the same? Aren't they the same? They're exactly the same calculation. Are they supposed to be that? Yeah, that's. I mean, yes, I think so because of the way that it works in the other instances. But I'd just like to. Now we are setting these. And so what I would assume, yeah. So what I would assume actually is something that's happening all the way up here. Yeah, so it's up here, it's divided by 0. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I should have looked at that before. Okay, but that's fine. So I think I'm just gonna do a little bit. I'm just gonna look at my. Okay. Yeah. That's fine. I think we're chilling. But we can see here. This is. Yeah, this and here, these two would be the issues, right? Hmm. Okay, but okay, it's a little bit annoying the way that we have to work around this. But okay, I guess we just have to go about it now. So everything seems fine. Other than that, okay. So step one. We will Now my question becomes whether or not this down here. I think we'll keep this. Yes, it makes the most sense to keep it. We keep it, then we have to do something here. Frack. Ah, okay. I don't know if they actually do have a function for this in Game Maker, but it's fine. So we will have to save it as a variable. Yeah. Actually, you know what I would like to do instead? To just okay, so actually what we're going to do here is we're going to take this like this. I'm going to say if this is not equal to 0, a1 is equal to a1 divided by, yeah. And we're just gonna write avoid division with 0. Yeah, and I think we are gonna do something similar down here. It's to avoid saving all these extra variables, right? Yeah, we're gonna go take a step back here, and then we're gonna say here return. We're gonna say var rx return x is equal to ix1. So I think what has to happen is if that it is 0, then it should just be 1 instead, right? So that's kind of what we're doing here. And then we say if I mean it's basically if ix2 is not equal to 0, return x is equal to return x divided by ix2. And then we will copy and do the exact same for the y coordinate. And we also have to remember to do it for a2. So return y, there, there, and there. All right, so, and then we just say return x and return y. I hope that this is going to be the last error that we actually have. This can stay, I guess. You can put it up here. Doesn't really matter right now. Okay, and then we just have to remember this part as well. Dum and badum. There we go. So let's try and see now. Wonder if this should gonna be enough. And it seems really that it is. It also seems Yeah, there also seems to be some kinds of other issues regarding the and I think it is because of that like regarding the if these are below 1, right? So I think we should actually bring that back, the functionality. If it's not equal to 0, okay, but then we're fine. So then we can just say again, if I x2 is less, or if the absolute value of I x2 is less than 1, then we can set it to its own sign so that it also allows it to be negative. Right, so we're just basically rounding up to 1 every time it's below 1. I think that makes sense, right? We can do the same for the y values here. Yeah, and of course we have to do Am I doing something funny here? I feel like, I mean, this has to happen before. It's like this. No, it has to happen even. Actually, it should happen there, no? Let me just make sure that I'm doing it right. Ix2 is less. But we have to do that before we do this calculation. There must be some better ways of dealing with zero division. And as we can see, I mean, we're doing some of the things right, but we just want to make sure that everything actually works the way it should. Let me try something that's significantly simpler than this, and perhaps it's not the best solution, and perhaps we will move stuff around a little bit in an annoying way. However, so I mean, we can just if ix2 is larger or equal to 1, then we do this, right? Else, yeah, nothing. Yeah. Else nothing, right? And it's larger. Well, yeah, so if the absolute value of it, of course, is larger than equal to 1. We can do the same for this one down here. Let's try and do it like this then. Okay, now everything is bugging out completely. That's wild. That is wild. And it actually makes no sense to to make matters worse. Does it make sense? Let me just look one more time. Something is definitely off here, but so we can calculate for 1. And we can calculate for 2. Wait, no, we cannot. Clearly something off here with the calculations. Yeah. Okay, so there's something clearly off here. Let's see. Let's try and change this from that to that. Perhaps, I mean, there must be some place. Maybe I've missed something somewhere. And as you can see here again, you see the yellow thing is kind of like moving in a weird way. Again here, see now. Yeah. Yeah, this is gonna be a long day. It's all good. It's all good. Let's think for a second about this. Yeah. I mean, I would assume then the issue would be up here, right? So I think we just this is what's gonna be the task for today, is to fix this specific function in here. Yeah. All right. And I remember the video where I designed all of this. I remember the calculations to some degree, of course. Oh, whoops. That actually makes a lot of sense. If I forgot to remove that part. Yep. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, thank God. Okay, thank God. I thought it was gonna be so much worse. Okay, 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 okay. Let's try and do it like a very extremely straight point. Extremely straight point here as well. I mean, everything looks perfect, in my opinion. We can now. And yes, so it seems that the snapping to a road needs to be fixed. We can connect through it. That's fine. But we cannot. Excuse me one second. We cannot snap to one. It seems, right? Can we snap from one? No. So there seems to be some issues with that part. And that's okay. That's okay. That's that's completely fine. I'm happy with the. Okay, so we've cleaned up most of these things and they look pretty good. Let's just make sure that everything in here is also, and we will just copy this comment. Okay, so everything good. Yeah, so let's try and see what actually is happening here. Yeah. Okay, something seems weird. So first step is that we should be able to, as soon as we click on the road, if we click here, yeah, whatever. But if we if we click on the road the first time around, we should already there make a point. There's so many complexities just to making roads, and I am I feel a little bit defeated sometimes. Let's try and open up the road builder again here, and I want to see something else because I remember we talked about. I remember we talked about having the coordinates be straight, like they're not supposed to be floating variables, right? Or floating points. They're supposed to be integers. At least anywhere where we make a node. And perhaps all of that is supposed to happen in here. Or not in here, sorry. I was just thinking, have I not? I mean, I made that implementation, right? I did make that implementation. And I would assume that it's in here then, right? Here, see, here we do it. Here we do it. Okay. Okay. I mean, a lot of this is also something that I would like to do better at some point, because it takes a lot of processing power to do that, right? What I am worried about right now is, I think that might be the problem, right? That we are, might not be. I'm just wondering if there's. So we're creating something there. We're creating something there. Yeah. And then we're doing the collision points. So we finding for every single collision point, they should also be rounded up effectively. I mean, you could argue that it doesn't matter that much. And maybe it doesn't right now. Maybe that's not something I should put that much energy into. Let me just see real quick. I know it makes perfect sense actually. Yeah. Because we're doing it here as well. So we did it. We're doing it the right way as far as I'm concerned. Awesome. So it really just comes down to that snapping to and from the roads. Let's just look at it one more time. And I know I'm so what I would love to have happen is this. But that this apparently does not properly split as it's supposed to do, right? And so we're doing, what about here? Yeah, so there's clearly something that we're not doing exactly as we should, in terms of making sure that that we can create a road from any point in the road, or create a new road from any place from an existing road. And it's a little bit interesting for me. So so let's go back again here and see here. Closest node to mouse. Okay, I think we can actually fix this pretty quickly, because you can see here, this object handler might not have been properly updated with the selected road. Okay. And so what I would like to do again now is take a step back, look at the exact so here we are updating, so road selected. And I think what we wanted is for the node selection to take precedence over the node selection should precede the road selection. So as we can So we can select these nodes, but we cannot select roads right now, and that's obviously a problem, and that's why the T intersections do not work as intended. That's okay. Give me 1 second, please. Very good. Perfect. So okay, I see. So the issue is actually that we only select roads when our actions are none. Oh well. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me, and that's quite silly. So I think what we would do actually is to have two independent variables instead of having these two depend on each other. We just have them both completely independent of each other. Let's go in here. Let's see here. Node selected and road selected, and I am pretty sure that whatever happens anywhere else is completely irrelevant. Yeah. So what are we gonna do? I'm gonna first of all just go out of all these. I do not want the road and node selection to be based off of which action we do. I just want it to always be able to select a road. And perhaps later on we will change the implementation of the way we define it so that instead of being selected, it's like hovered over in some way, okay? But as far as I'm concerned right now, it doesn't matter that much. So we'll go up here. So if there exists a node, then we can do this. We do not need to have the same, you know, it's the same functionality both places, so we can move it all together. And this is basically in here. We can just actually just take all of this stuff. There are no reason for us to do anything here in truth. But what we will do is put it all in here. And we will move out the road selection in a moment. And we'll actually just take this right now. We will move this outside. Okay, it's fine. There are screaming kids outside my room. Doesn't matter. All right, so that can go as well. So now we say, are there any nodes? Yes. Next question. Where is the closest one? It's there. It's this one. The next question is, is our mouse close enough to that node so that we can select it? And then here we can just say else node selected is equal to -1. And I would also like to, just to make sure that it's clean, I think this is the way to go about it, to just reset it all. Yeah. Okay, so next step is to then say here, And we can basically copy paste most of this. And this in this time it says precise. I'll set this to false. And then we can just say if instance exists, road segment. Oh. We do like this. And isn't this exactly the same? Yes, it is. So if this can go goodbye. And if there's anything wrong with it, then that's just how it's gonna be. This, I'm like sure. And again, we can do the same kind of thing here, right? And so here we don't really need to like check for any distances. The function does it for us, so it's all good. So now that when we draw, so specifically, it draws it when we have no action available. We can show which one is selected. That's fine in itself. Let's go back here. And it seems that we have removed parts of the functionality at some point. I mean, question is again, should we have like should we have it so that when we like display the things, because there's one thing is like functionality and the other thing is just like displaying for the user how to draw, look at things, like how to navigate this space that we're making. And I guess this is fine. The node thing can stay in here. I don't really care actually. But what I would like to have then is the road selection should just be outside of all of this. Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's the best way to go about this. So if we do the same again, like we agreed on the way we should program this. So if there is a road that is selected, how are the variables? Okay, cool. So we in the road segment we have defined the start and end node. So that's perfect. Okay, great. We can just say here draw line width, and then we can say selected. And then it becomes like, so we can we can address road selected dot start node dot x. Yeah, I guess that's actually the way to go. I don't like this. I don't like these multiple references throughout each other. I don't, but I think it's okay. I think like Game Maker is kind of designed to deal with this in a sense. And then the width should be, I don't know, 16. Okay. And just to make sure everything's fine, we can we can copy this part here. And I wonder if this in itself just works straight up. But it might honestly. It might honestly do that. Yeah, look. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, awesome. It's because yes, okay. It's because we were rewriting all of that stuff with the road tool, right? And that we don't want that anymore. So that's fine. So we don't. Let's get rid of all that stuff. I mean, I think it's fine to have it like that. I don't really care right now, at least. But the main point that we should have here is, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we have just forgotten to update some of these. Okay. Perhaps it's like legitimately just this one thing that has to be changed. But I feel like there was something else. Yes, there's another thing I would like to do. And this here, I would like to I would like to set another global variable called lane width. Not road width, but lane width. Because later on we also want to attach multiple lanes. And perhaps there should be like different kinds of lanes that have different width and whatnot. That's not so important right now because we are only doing one kind of lane. So lane width is equal to, and I actually think it is 16. If I remember correctly, it's 16, and then we just have to multiply by 2, right? And so what we can do is we can try and see here. This is the road builder. It draws here a line. And these should be, we should have to, sorry, global.lane width times 2. And again, that's something again that we can adjust later on. Not important right now. But as you can see, yeah. Okay, so in the split road segments, there's something clearly wrong in here. Maybe there's somewhere with a road tool. What is it saying? Ah, it's not actually in here. It's in this one. And there we go. Let me just see here. There are no more instances here, at least. Let's see if that's going to be good enough for us. I feel like there's one more thing. Yeah, the selection of the here. Yeah, there we go. Lane width times 2 again, so that we draw exactly on to the road. So now, yes, exactly. Okay, we can do that, and now it all works again as it was supposed to this entire time. Looks pretty good in my opinion. So that's awesome. It only took us like what was it, a little over an hour to get to this point. Looks good again though. I'm happy. And so I think I will actually have to stop here today. I have to walk my dog. It seems. Oh, it's not the seems, but I have to walk my dog now. And I was thinking maybe to do another one later today. Another stream tonight, but I'm not sure about that yet. So I'm not gonna promise anything. But I think we managed to actually fix that one issue that we had. So this can go again. This is fixed. And I don't know if I should actually, save the things that I'm fixing. In principle, I should, in terms of like coding, like what's good documentation of our progress. It's fine, but I think it's good to have this node of logs in here to say at least have a small overview of what's going on. And this was a little bit of a shorter stream today. Thank you for participating. I'm very happy with where we are right now. And I really want to get started on the next topic, which is to re-implement the houses and all that stuff. But again, thank you for participating. I will see you guys next time. And have a good weekend.